What's up, world? You're in the Beat Sessions. I'm your host, Mitchell Weary. Let's talk about Gov't Mule. They have a new album out entitled Heavy Load Blues. They released that on November 12th. This is studio album number 12 for the band. Follows 2017's Revolution Come, Revolution Go. It's always great to see Gov't Mule come back around. If you're not familiar with this band, they are rad as hell. Great jam band. I really dig their southern rock style. And what I really like about them, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on this, is that when it comes to jam bands, it's tough to get that same experience in a studio album versus a live performance or a live album. Gov't Mule's albums, their studio albums anyway, play out really well in kind of the live style. And so it's great to have this record in all 78 of its glorious minutes. It's pretty rare that I make an exception for this type of runtime on an album, but given what they do, given the fact that they are a jam band and that you're almost getting that live experience when listening to the studio album, makes them a phenomenal listen to. So check them out if you're not familiar with them. I love how rooted in blues this album is. I mean, it is just an exploration of the blues where a lot of their material, you get funk, you get southern rock, and you know, there's certainly elements of that on this record, but this thing is celebrating all different types of blues and going to the roots of it, and I think this is a really fun album for that reason. If you're not familiar with this band as well, their history is rooted in some serious tradition coming from the Allman Brothers. And none of the original members of this band are part of Gov't Mule. However, you go back to the original lineup of the band, very tragic early on. You suffer the loss of Dwayne Allman and bassist Barry Oakley, both in motorcycle accidents, 3 blocks apart. It's a wild story. It's insanely tragic. It's really just, I mean, I'm almost at a loss for words describing the tragedy that these guys endured early on in their career and in their personal lives. But their drummer, Butch Trucks, said that Dwayne was their leader and the rest of them were Dwayne's disciples. And the idea was to carry on the lessons that they've learned. And so, you know, this band has made some serious comebacks. Sadly, the Allman Brothers don't perform anymore, but they made some serious comebacks throughout their career, carrying on that spirit. And Warren Haynes and Alan Woody coming in '89, massive part of that second reunion, carrying on that spirit, and 5 years later, founding Gov't Mule. It's really just cool that this band comes from, again, such a rich tradition of rock and roll, and you get that tradition carried out in their music and their style, and I love it for that reason. So I want to get into this thing. Let's look at the tracks here. Loving the album opener, Blues Before Sunrise. This is definitely going to have that Roadhouse style of just up-tempo, very jaunty. You're going to groove to this first opening track. Really just a nice pace setter, considering the length of the album. And, you know, with an album length like this, you know, you put the same thought, I feel like, that you would put into a live show as far as the continuity, making sure that your listener is staying engaged. And you're going to for 78 minutes. This thing is rad as hell. Hole in My Soul is your second song. It's got this swing jazz element that I love that they're working with. And again, the blues is really the root in jazz and rock and roll and pop and all of these things, and that element of improvisation, which is so much fun, which is what makes live shows so exciting, and which is what makes Gov't Mule and their experience come across on that studio album so well. Wake Up Dead is your third track. It's got this Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of vibe to it, that blues element, like that about it. Your fourth track, Love Is a Mean Old World. It certainly kind of is. It's got this great slide guitar in it. I love the down tempo. Brings the pace back a little bit. It's grungy. It's got this outlaw country vibe to it. I really am enjoying that. I'm enjoying all of these tracks. Honestly, I've listened to this thing twice, and I don't have a favorite because it just, like, every track that comes up just keeps taking my heart and running with it. I love this thing. Snatch it back and hold it back. This is this 3-part track. Just this great rapid riff that's carrying the first part of the structural element. And then this thing breaks down into this excellent jam for roughly 5 minutes. This is a big track. I enjoyed it very much. I think you'll enjoy it as well. Sixth song is Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City. Nice cover there. Their interpretation of there is very well done. Seventh is Brother Bill, Last Clean Shirt. Big slow tempo jam. Love the chunky blues riff in this guitar. It is fun. Like the change of pace in the setting there, which leads into Make It Rain. Smooth blues track. Really liked the transition there. From that, you get your 9th track, Heavy Load. This is a really fun moment on this track. Arguably one of my favorites as well. It is just Warren, guitar, very traditional, simple blues. just this big 7-minute jam. Love the way that this song plays out. Your 10th song, Feel Like Breaking Up Somebody's Home. And that's kind of what this song does to this album. For the first time, you get this jam, like funk element into it. There's this thick bass line, this badass organ that's driving the track. It really kind of changes the pace of the record a little bit, not inappropriately. I think, and again, thinking about the way that this would play out like a live set, I think that this is a fun change of pace for the record, and it works brilliantly. It's a nice element of production here. If Heartaches Were Nickels, slow, sultry, another track with great organ element. Really liking that about this. And then your penultimate track, I Asked for Water, She Gave Me Gasoline. This thing is just raw. This is an excellent blues track. I think because it is the penultimate track and you get to the end of the record, it is probably my favorite for that reason. This thing is a slow builder to this badass. This song is awesome. I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to recommending that you just listen to this song first and then go back and listen through the rest of the album because I enjoyed it that much. But it's just, I love the tempo. It's groovy. It's got great guitars, great solo work. And then your final track, Black Horizon, definitely more of a just simple guitar, kind of that traditional blues element there to finish this thing off. This album's rad. I'm really looking forward to seeing Gov't Mule again. It's been a while since I've checked them out. I remember the first time I saw them, they opened up for Dave Matthews, and I just felt bad for Dave afterwards. I had never seen them, and after that experience, I mean, I wouldn't want to follow that. It's good that they're headlining these days. Vinyl, please, on this thing, obviously. I hope you enjoyed listening to this record. Hope you find this review helpful. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Do all the things to help me blow this project up, and stay tuned throughout the week for more album reviews. We'll see you next time on the Beat Sessions.